All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is chapter 2.3, and we are going to be solving two-step equations. So in the last video, we learned a process for solving a one-step equation. And in this one, the big thing we're going to do is solve two-step equations. So when we have to do both like an addition, subtraction, and a multiplication, division. Okay, so that's the overall goal here. So the question really is what order do we do things in? So let's take this equation for example. We have x divided by 2 plus 5 equals 11. Okay, there are two operations being performed on x. There's the division by 2 and the addition by 5. Now, if we were to apply order of operations, we would do the division first and the addition afterwards, right? So for example, if I were to say x equals, let's make it nice. So 6, we would go 6 divided by 2 plus 5 equals, and the first thing I would do is the division, and then the second thing I would do is the addition, okay? Order of operations is when we are simplifying or evaluating. That's not what we're doing here. Remember, the purpose of solving is to undo an equation. We are undoing the operations here to find out what the value of x is. So, typically speaking, now this isn't for all cases, but typically speaking, when we're solving, we do the opposite order of the order of operations. So instead of doing divide by 2 and add 5, we're going to deal with the plus 5 first, which means we're going to subtract 5. So we're subtracting 5 from both sides. Then we're going to rewrite the equivalent equation that we get when we do that. And then we're going to do the opposite of dividing by 2, which is to multiply by 2. And that tells us what number this has to be in order for it to work. And again, we can check that, right? If I wanted to double check if this works, I can plug -8 in and then follow my order of operations. Since we're not undoing it, we're doing it. This is -4 plus 5 equals 1, which is 1 equals 1. So I know that -8 was the correct solution because I get a true statement back when I plug this back in. Okay, so the key thing when we're doing multi-step equations is we generally want to do the order of operations in reverse, because equation solving is about undoing an equation. So let's do this. We just did this one, but let's do it again here. So we're solving this very similar problem. We're going to undo it. We're going to do it in opposite order. So instead of dividing first, we're going to do the opposite of this addition, which is to subtract 5. Now, I'm going to subtract 5. Again, we got to follow the rules that we did last time. If I do something to the left-hand side, I have to do it to the right-hand side. So I'm subtracting 5 from both sides, and I get x divided by 2 equals 6. This is an equivalent equation to this one up here. And now I'm going to continue to undo this equation by doing the opposite of dividing by 2, which is to multiply by 2. And again, remember, when I multiply by 2, it cancels the 2's out, leaving the x by itself. So this is 6 times 2, or 12. And I can check to see if this is the correct solution, or if it's a solution, by plugging this number back in and seeing if I make a true statement. So 12 divided by 2 makes 6 plus 5. That's 11 equals 11. That is a true statement. So yes, it is the solution. It is the correct answer. All right. So I've got some practice questions for you to do. So if you can go back to your Canvas, then do those on your homework paper, then start up the next video and check your answers. All right, so we'll see you in just a second.